The narrators, I think, in most of my films, if there are narrators, are generally pretty unreliable creatures. A lot of times, especially in the beginning, the two films in this exhibition that contain voiceovers kind of reveal something I've been interested in a while, which is working with non-actors. When we see a voiceover, often in film, like, we generally take it for granted. We walk into a cinema and we hear sort of an invisible person telling us what's going on or what people are thinking or how the story goes. And I've always been interested in the way that we don't even think about that. We just sort of accept it. So I thought it would be interesting, or to work with this as a way of casting doubt on what you see, or becoming aware of something. And perhaps if this voice or person is not entirely trustworthy, or if we can't necessarily locate that person in the narrative. The new film, Oil, originated as a commission from the Mitchell Center for the Arts in collaboration with the Blaffer Art Museum. And I was commissioned to make a film here in Houston, which I was really excited about. And I decided I wanted to do something pertaining to the topic of oil. I did a collaboration with a few students from the University of Houston Department of Theater and Dance, as well as some professional actors in the Houston area. And we put together this theater piece, which we rehearsed often very late at night, and filmed it. At that point, the film also started to merge a little bit into something else. I was interested in sort of destabilizing this material. I didn't want it to be, I knew from the beginning I wanted it to have kind of a dreamy, strange quality where you weren't really sure what you were watching. It kind of slips. Sometimes the shots are very constructed, like something you would know from a film, a very typical film shot of people in a car or something, for example. But then it slips into something else, and sometimes you see people reading scripts, and it feels more like a documentary, but then it turns into something else. In this one in particular, I was interested in this idea of the black box theater, and one reason was that it was a sort of ritualized space, but also a strange kind of in-between space, because the reason it's black is so that the audience can kind of imagine the setting for themselves, and so it's a space that's meant for you to project things and thoughts onto. I think it's nice to in that way, I kind of feel like the person that's watching it completes it themselves, because it's sort of completed in the mind of the person watching it, because we all resolve things in different ways, and I think that's a big part of what I'm working with, somehow, that you complete it. The photographs I kind of see as the basis, or the first point of departure for the film. When I came back from the production of Oil, I started doing these experiments with dirty motor oil, so it's extremely black, and light. And I was interested in this analogy between two things as different as a photograph, for example, and the surface of oil can kind of relate. They do have several different similarities, just in terms of the way light refracts and reflects off of the surface of oil. I'm not a science person, but it's actually quite interesting the way light hits oil at different speeds, which is why we see colors when it's on our driveway or something. What happened was I started photographing the oil over a mirror, and then using that in combination with theater lights. What happens when the light waves hit it is that it breaks apart when it goes into the lens of the camera, becoming a kind of spectrum that you wouldn't normally see. That made me think of this idea of suspension and light, and an in-between space that I could use to sort of situate my characters, and that would be kind of analogy to the theater, the strange kind of theater, film, documentary, rehearsal space that I was building in the film. So to me, that they sort of relate in that way.